Good morning. November 1st. What? November 1st, 2023. Fixing me up some tea here. I spilled a little bit on the table. I've got audio confirmation, and this is Windows Daily number 321, as I can prove if I get my buttons right. Here's Windows Daily Helpline number 321, where myself and the chat room stand ready to respond to your questions regarding Windows computing issues. You can send an email to that address to pose your question or put a comment on any of my videos or ask in the chat room. Now, about that, if you're new to the channel, you probably will find that you can't chat, and that's because I've had to tighten up restrictions due to a troll. The way to get access to the chat room is you'll have to put a comment on any of my videos, and what happens is every day I these shows, I come over here to my comments tab and see if anybody's made comments with questions for me to respond to, or a request to be an approved user. I'll check and make sure your channel is not brand new, and then give you approval. And also your comment won't show up in the comments on the video to the public until I approve it. So yeah, there's that to deal with. So since I'm here, Dennis Thompson put in a response to a topic we talked about a couple days ago. He said the only reason he asked about that YouTube live page is because YouTube kept offering it for a redirect. I think I fixed that problem by actually doing a live stream, then deleting it afterwards. Well, Dennis, maybe you got to teach me how to do that, because I tried doing that. When I go in here to edit, customization, redirect, I do have this live stream that's been sitting here for a while, and I have fixed it before in the past, but I tried doing a live stream, trying to use this, and it did not work. I'm still unable to get that cleared off of my screen. I don't have any redirects set up today at this point in time. Let's see, so that's all of that. Now, is Martin Hogg here? Because I have some responses from Martin Hogg. I don't think I saw him in chat yet. I don't want to start that until he's here. Let's see, what am I going to? Remove, put in, no, that's not what I want. I'm not trying to, I want to come up here to these three dots, pop out chat, make it big. And then see what we got in chat. Ken Stout live. I am first and I am Groot. I am choosing my words. I am choosing my words properly. No, you got a question mark at the end of this. That implies that this is a question. I am first. That's a statement. I am Groot. That's a statement. I am choosing my words properly. That's a statement. It's not a question. Gonna send that boy back to second grade. Nick, stop laughing, Doug. Nick Poverman, I just quit my job at the light bulb factory. Probably wasn't my brightest moved. I read that wrong. So Ken's going to harass me now about my language skills when I pronounce the word move as moved. Alice, oh yeah, we have fun around here. Hello, Alice, good to see you. Nick Poverman, Windows 11 23H2 is now available. I got the ISO this morning because he is a seeker. You can get it here at this link. For all of you seekers, I am not a seeker. This is the installation media page. Yeah, you can do it this way. If you do download now, well, now you're not trying to do media, but download now here will get you to a point. I guess I can go ahead and show the next step, right? This downloads it. I'm not going to actually pursue the installation, but I'll go launch it so you see what it looks like. Answer yes to that right there. Install Windows 11. I already have Windows 11. Accept and install would take me on to the next step, and I could just step through this, and it would wind up at some point give me the choice to install on top of the existing, which amounts to an upgrade to it, or to do a fresh install. So that implies it's not available through update settings if he's given us that link. No, here it's available here. Why would you use that link? Why not just do it here? This would be the easier, safer way to do it because you can't make a mistake that way. So Nick, do you have any reason to want to do it this way instead of doing it through Windows Update? Let's see, get my other chat window up over here. Nick says, I got the ISO so we can test it at my job on a new stream. No upgrade. Oh, so they did a fresh install. ISO is good for a clean install, of coursely. Oh, Ken's going to harass me on that one too. John Williams says, good day to everyone. Selden Ball, greetings here. It's 39 degrees Fahrenheit, cloudy and rain expected soon. There's also a winter advisory about heavy show, but I think it's a bit warm for that. It's too warm for you to have show falling down from the sky, those white pellets of show. Oh, we're just having fun with each other here. No worries. Jeff Ryman, there's no sin in sincere, but there's plenty of sun in Sin City. So Jeff in Las Vegas has plenty of sun today. No sin in sincere. Well, there is S-I-N. Show snow. Selden gives his typo correction. Don Williams tried to update the BIOS to my ASRock motherboard, so I downloaded the file to a flash drive for the update to tell me invalid file. Don't understand why this is happening. Update the BIOS to his ASRock motherboard. ASRock? Yeah. So I downloaded the file to a flash drive for the update to tell me invalid file. Well, download it again. Now, where is it telling you? Are you going into the BIOS, UEFI BIOS setup screen and running the update from there? If you actually try running a file from that flash drive while you're in Windows, I don't think it's an executable file for Windows. So maybe that's where you're getting. If you want to send me some pictures of what's going on, I'd love to show that to the audience. There's the email address again, but John, you know the email address. Nick to Jeff, are you in Vegas or outside Vegas? He's outside Vegas. I don't quite remember the town that he's in. Rural Clark County, but his mailing address is Las Vegas, an area called Paradise. Battling with brain dead UPS and my ISP billing department, both are in run to the bottom. Uninterruptible power supply, a brain dead uninterruptible power supply. No, I don't think that's what he means. I think he means United Parcel Service. Is it? Brain dead UPS and ISP billing department. I don't know. It could. I guess that could be uninterruptible power supply or United Parcel Service. See if Greg M gives me a clarification on that. Ran Israel, hello candy. Oh, yes. The day after Halloween, I have some leftover candy. That tub full. These bags are not full. I only started out with those 4 bags full. My daughter and my grandson came over about 7:45 p.m. and they left just a little bit before 9. There was not one single trick-or-treater while they were here. They came over to help hand out candy. After they left at 9:01, there was a woman that came up with like a 3 or 4 year old kid at 9 o'clock. Wow, that seems kind of late. But anyway, fun was had by all. Oh, my grandson's costume was amazing. I didn't get a picture of it. But he had this inflatable suit. You know how they have those inflatable mannequins out in your front yard and they have a compressor in them, blowing them up all the time, blowing air into them? Well, he had a battery operated compressor inside this blow up costume thing. It was some kind of big ghost, I think. But he could barely walk through the door. This is my 10-year-old grandson. come back here to chat. Rick Lakes, 28 degrees is, I don't see Martin Hogg yet. I guess I could go through his stuff. We had to email exchanges yesterday. I probably should go do that before I run out of time. Let me go do that. I'll take a quick scan through chat. Nick Poverman got me an orange. I got the ISO so we can test it at the on the new system. Kind of scanning. Hello, Richard Rogers. Yeah, so let me come back to, yeah, Candy is where I left off. Now, I'll go to Martin Hogg. Yesterday we talked, not yesterday, right? Yesterday, I didn't do a stream yesterday, did I? Did I? Yeah, I did. Well, I think we talked about this yesterday. So Martin Hogg, he says, a bit more info for you. I have tried installing the cloned M.2 in the slot. However, the PC would not boot, and a blue screen saying there was a problem and the PC would reboot. At this point, I was afraid that the boot data files would get corrupted due to the default eMMC, so I removed the M.2 again, and the PC booted as before. This clarifies a couple of things. Yesterday, or whenever that was, I couldn't see an M.2 slot on the photos that he sent to the motherboard. But he actually installed the M.2. And so the slot is there. All right, so I'm letting go of that. Now, I think what's going on is the soldered in drive, eMMC squared. Move along, Doug. It has the boot configuration information sector, that partition that has the boot configuration. Now, when he cloned to the M.2, he copied that, so the computer is now seeing two partitions in the computer that are trying to take control over telling the computer what drive to boot from. When you clone a drive, the intention is, the design of that is to take out the old drive and put the replacement drive in that same position, or at least that the old one is no longer there. It doesn't have to be the same position, of course, when you clone from a spinning drive or a 2.5-inch SSD to an M.2. You can do that, but you got to take out the old drive. So maybe there's an option in UEFI BIOS to disable the built-on drive, but I'm a little resistant to doing that because I haven't been through this process. What I'm suggesting, Martin, is to clean that M.2, wipe it so there's no partitions on it, put it in the M.2 slot, let the computer boot up on its soldered in drive, eMMC you're calling it, and then use disk management to initialize that M.2 drive, and then do a Windows installation. Go to the Media Creation tool, download it, and do a Windows installation to that new M.2 drive. Now, we generally don't advise to do an installation on a drive when you have other drives present. We'd rather remove the other drives so there's no confusion. But because of the size difference of these two drives, I think you're okay with it. Now, what that's going to do is, if you can install a bootable drive on that M.2, the Windows installation will automatically adjust the boot configuration information so that you could boot from that drive or from the bootable partition on your first drive. Now, if you can't get access to even initialize that drive and even create an empty partition, then that tells us there's something wrong with the computer being able to use that M.2 that you got. Now, I'm going to go straight to the manual over here because I did find the correct manual, S13011IGM, and in the let's see, I didn't have this pre-set up. Specifications. In the specifications, it shows that that drive that you have is probably compatible SD, eMMC, capacity is up to 256 gigabytes. And let's see, this manual actually covers a few different models of computer. So that drive that you have, I believe you said was 256. I'll go back to your original email and confirm that. Yes, that is, yeah, 256 gigabyte M.2. So we know that the socket is there and that you actually attempted to boot on it. But I think they're fighting each other. Now, about how I found your manual, that was interesting. See, Martin sent me a picture of the label. He sent me several additional pictures. I came into here and put in his serial number, and it took me to the wrong computer. It took me to this SS330S 14 IKB, and here's his serial number. And when I went to the manuals, it was the wrong manual. It was this one, which does not include his model computer. So then I went a different direction. I came here to change product, and I selected the I put in the, that doesn't look like the way I did it. Somewhere I went through a different method basically and got to the correct one. So here's the correct one, not by serial number. I actually put in the make and model information and came up with this one, and then got to the right manual here. So I will send all of these URLs by email to Martin as an extra resources for him. One additional thing, Martin, I'll go ahead and do this piece. I'm going to go show these photos. The photos that he sent as attachments. Here's a photo of the keyboard area, another photo of that M.2 area. I can't tell anything there. It looks like a socket, but here you can see the mounting stud or for the screw to attach the M.2, and then here is his label. So this is not very clear. I'm not sure that it's out of focus. I think it's just that it's low resolution. And so what I want to show now is how to send me good resolution pictures. Let's get to the right place here. Not that. Oh, up here. Windows Daily, and here I need to go to yesterday's. And then here. So those photos came through at very low resolution, 110 kilobytes, 136 kilobytes. And previously he sent the photos through his iPhone, and I knew that because it said it on the email. These photos he sent through the iPad. So what I want to show, Martin, is the way that you could really send me good photos is go to iCloud.com. I'm going to take that off screen just as I go to it to be sure. It's okay, whatever I have displayed there. Yes. So that gets you to here. And then click on one of the photos you want to send to me, and then control click on the others, or shift click, from the first photo to the last photo, so that you have some photos selected. Then come up here to this 3-dot menu in the upper right and choose Share. And then here, Share with iCloud link. You can, if you email a link from this, the email will come to me from iCloud. It doesn't look like it's an email from you. So I would prefer copy link, and that brings up this window right here. So then you can click copy link here, and then go create a new email. Create a new email, put in who you're sending it to, and then Control V, paste in here. Now, I already have that link copied into memory. I want to give you confidence that I'm only going to be able to see the photos that you shared with me. The way I'll show you confidently that is I'll go to an incognito window where I'm not logged into iCloud and paste that link here. And this is the way that I will wind up seeing those, is I only get access to the photos that you sent to me, but I'm actually accessing them directly from your iCloud account, and I can get them in full resolution. Okay. But hopefully, what I've said so far will solve the issue for Martin. Now let's go to chat and see if you're pointing out anything I forgot or neglected in there. Rick Lakes, hello. Nick Poverman, peanut butter cups or Snickers. I have those and many, many more. Speedy C, Speedy. Costanza the Mage. Paul Thurrott stated that 23H2 is still not on Media Creation Tool. Okay, well, Paul Thurrott would have said that on when? How long ago did he say that? Because I think Nick is saying he got the ISO this morning, so it might be there now, and it wasn't there whenever Paul Thurrott last gave that statement. Rick Lakes says, good morning, Alice. I noticed Windows Spotlight has been changing more often on Windows 10. Good to see. Is that, let's see, for your lock screen or for your desktop background? And when you say more often, is that more than once a day? Some hellos there. ISO is separate from Media Creation Tool, according to Costanza. Let's see, over here. This is Media Creation Tool. Here's the ISO. Oh, so maybe it's not available here in this ISO section, but it's available here. Is that what you're saying? And Paul said that today on his Twitter account. ISO is separate from media creation. Yeah, this I think is what we're calling media creation, and this is an ISO, right? You can get it. You can get ISO, but not via Media Creation Tool. Nick Poverman says he downloaded the ISO from here, and he got the 23H2, right? It was Nick that said he got the 23H2. 28H2, yeah, he's saying he got it on the ISO tool, and jumping all around here. Not available on the Media Creation Tool. Oh, okay. So available here, 23H2, but not here. That's as clear as mud. ISO good for clean install on newly built computers. Ken is watching. I wasn't asking if you're watching. I was asking for Martin. Did I say Ken instead of Martin Hogg? He's the one that I was asking if he's watching. He's the one I intended to ask. What size USB drive did you use and what format? To John. That was John's question about the corrupted file. Tried to update BIOS on my ASRock motherboard, so I downloaded the file to flash drive for the update to tell me invalid. Don't understand why. Yeah, send me some pictures. I like pictures. Hello's Nick Poverman, 4 GB and FAT32. Well, that's kind of, well, no, for a BIOS update, that's fine. That would be fine. Is the invalid file format reported to you from UEFI BIOS when you try to perform the update? Or is it an executable update that's supposed to be run from Windows? I doubt it, because you wouldn't need to do that on a thumb drive. That's Jeff's mailing address. Londog, good morning. With Windows 7 over time, with lots of usage, it was recommended to start over with a fresh install to kind of clean things up. Now we have Windows 10. Any thoughts on if this philosophy should continue? Would like to hear your thoughts based on experience with Windows 10 installations that have been kind of time on them. Oh, that have had some time on them. I do not, with Windows 7, when it started performing poorly, we might want to do a fresh install. With Windows 10, if it's performing poorly, then yes, I would do a fresh install, unless a fresh install on that computer is really cumbersome and difficult to do because they have a lot of specialty software. Maybe they have legacy software that they don't have installation media for. You got to have a good interview with the client. What do you use on your computer? Do we have the ability to recreate all of that? So I would do a fresh install of Windows 10, and I have done it on client computers when they are borked up and I don't have a backup image that I can restore. But I don't find that nearly as common as with Windows 7. No sincere. There is no sin in sincere is a song from the Music Man. That vaguely seems familiar. Oh, we were visiting last night with my daughter. My grandson was asking us to play some music. He kept asking the Amazon Echo device. And he was asking his mother and I for songs. Neither of us could think of names of songs. And my daughter volunteered that she can sing along with songs and recognize them, know that she knows them, but she can't come up with the name of the artist or the name of the song. That's me. And you know that's me with basically any pop culture references. So I inherited it from my daughter. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Are you doing through BIOS, the update? Make sure you got the correct one for your motherboard. You may have gotten one for another board. That's definitely a possibility. Let's see, I already read that. It's Mr. Brow, a.k.a. the ones who seeming cannot deliver parcels. Oh, it's UPS that Greg was complaining about. M.R. Brown, Mr. Brown, the Brown uniforms, a.k.a. the ones who seeming cannot deliver parcel. I had a problem yesterday. I had a UPS package that was, I got an email saying it would arrive between 9:30 and 11:30, and I could click on a button and actually watch the truck traveling. I saw the truck go down that way, and I saw it go that way. It kept going past my neighborhood, go out further away, and then several hours later, I could no longer see the truck when I clicked on that link, and it had told me that it will be delivered by 7:30 p.m., and in the past, when that has happened, I haven't got it till the next day. Well, this is refrigerated items that come with an ice pack in it, so I was concerned about that. But it did come before my grandson and daughter arrived, so it came about 7 p.m., and I gave him a fistful of candy. He walked up to the door with a package. He let a trick-or-treater come up to me first. I gave the trick-or-treater their candy, and he come up, and I said, "Would you like some candy?" And I had a fistful of candy, and he said, "Sure." So anyway, yeah, it was all messed up with delivering that. I think at the end of the day, he realized he had a refrigerated package and better bring it to me. Does file name have to be changed after downloading for the ASRock BIOS update? I seem to recall that with some BIOS updates. Yes, indeed, that is true on some of them. Thank you, Danielle. Hello, Bobby. Richard Rogers, hello. John Williams to Nick, updated this motherboard when it was new a few years ago, had no issues then, used the same method this time. Try a different USB thumb drive, download it again, use a different, go around it. If there's some other method to do the download, try that. If there is, make sure you are getting it from the correct site. If you do a Google search for a BIOS update and just click on that link and go download it without paying attention to what website you're at, Could be an evildoer that you're downloading it from, that they're trying to do some damage. So, and then they'll often have the what's the validation? What's the way that you can check to make sure that file is legitimate by checking its code numbers or something? I've done that once or twice, not often at all. Hello, I like candy too, hate chat. Zavi Menorah, I like candy too, hate chat, as he enters that in the chat room. I know that's not what he meant. Chatty, is that chocolate? I don't know what chatty is. Is it a typo? People saying hellos to each other's. John says, I will try again later. Maybe I need to take smaller steps in the BIOS update to get to the most current version. Oh, well, maybe you're taking too big of a jump in your BIOS versions. When you go to the place for downloading that BIOS update, does it indicate what versions of BIOS that it updates? And that would be an indication. If it doesn't include the version that you currently have, then yeah, you may need to go in multiple incremental steps. If they don't document what versions it can update from, then just go ahead and try, or yeah, even trying the prior update. Find something that works. Sometimes you have to do that if it's a big jump in BIOS versions. eMMC drives are slow. Jim, the ISO is available, but my guess is you won't get 23H2 through Windows Update until Patch Tuesday. No, it's already there, isn't it? Maybe he put in that comment before I displayed it. Version 11, 23H2 is available. I can download it and install it right now. It won't automatically come to my computer until Update Tuesday, Patch Tuesday, and it might not even do that, because I have seen those updates not be forced on your computer until the 23H1, is that what I have? Until it's no longer supported. 22H2. When 22H2 is no longer supported, then it will force 23H2. That's my impression over time. John to Nick, thanks for your help. Lawn Dog, did I see that machine has 4 gigabytes of RAM? Those instructions may have applied for machines and the Windows that was initially in the beginning. At some point, machines with 4 gigabytes RAM start to have problems with installation that was similar to the problem I had with the tablet I bought. Well, the catch there, Lawn Dog, is some of these computers that have soldered on components, like my Microsoft Surface, I think it's a Microsoft Surface 3, has some special capability. My Microsoft Surface 3 has 2 gigabytes of RAM. Count them, not 4, 2 gigabytes of RAM, and it runs Windows 10 fine. It gets sluggish when I have a browser open with multiple tabs. And actually, even the boot up time isn't bad at all. So, yeah, don't assume that 4 gigabytes or even 2 gigabytes is always a no-go. It can work. Nickton John, what is the motherboard model number? I'm only suggesting maybe a factor in installing Windows, meaning the current copy. And yeah, at some point, the newest revision might not work. But I think Lawn Dog is referring to Martin's situation where he's trying to upgrade to a new drive, to a M.2 drive. He was trying to do that with a clone. He was cloning from the built-in soldered-in drive to the M.2. My theory is that, well, he's cloning that boot partition, the partition that includes the BCD, boot configuration data, tells the computer what drive to boot on. Now you have 2 competing boot partitions. I know I'm not using quite the right word. Somebody will give me the right word in chat. And I think that's what's going on. If he can gain access to that M.2 without having anything on it, then that proves that M.2 will work with the computer. And then when he's installed, well, another option, he could put a fresh Windows 10, I think that's what he was doing on it. And it'll probably boot on it because the boot configuration data on the built-in drive will recognize that as a boot drive. And then another thing you can do is msconfig. Well, I'm on Windows 11 now. It might be different. Boot. You should be able to see the two different boot partitions here. One on the original built-in drive and the other on the M.2 drive. And you can click on that one and choose set it as default. So it will restart to that drive by default. Now, another option there is once you have that M.2 drive functional, you could do a image restore, not a clone, but you make a backup image of the original drive and then do a restore of only the C drive. Install a fresh C drive on the M.2 first, and then restore the C drive from your image backup of the original drive to the M.2 drive. That way I think you'll have all of the programs and data, but you're not copying that BCD partition. I think that might work. Brian to Jim, I got a notice of Windows Update offering 23H2 this morning. I don't know what version of Windows where the problem started, maybe before 1604. ASRock AB350 HDV, that would be the motherboard, right? Yeah, motherboard model number. Jim to Brian, I'll have to check the 5th gen laptop again. It didn't offer it to me last night. And it might not be offered to computers that have different hardware. When you do Windows Update, there can be times when your computer won't be offered an update that others have, either because they're doing a progressive rollout, whatever the word is they use for that, where not everybody gets offered the update at the same time, or you might have some hardware configuration on your computer that puts you on a restriction list, and they have another name for that too. Does it have an M in it? To John for the motherboard. John Williams, yes, there's an M. 350M HDV. Yeah, so Nick was expecting an M, and it is there. Cassandra hasn't been offered 23H2 on such and such computer. I see others getting it too. Cassandra. Paul Thurrott said that today on his Twitter account. I think we got that piece cleared up, where it's available on the ISO, but not the media creation tool. I think I said that the right way. Don't bother correcting me if I got that wrong still. You guys know, people who care are going to find what they want. It requires update to BIOS 7.0 before updating this version according to their site if you want to go to 7.30. So there is the answer for John. Right? That question was up here from John. Tried to update BIOS on my ASRock motherboard, so I downloaded the file, flash drive, up and tell me invalid file. Nick to John, it requires update to BIOS 7.0 before updating this version according to their site if you want to go to 7.30. So when you're trying to do the 7.30, your current version of BIOS says, I don't recognize that file. I don't know nothing about it. I know nothing. Costanza the Mage. Yeah, that was a cultural reference. Get over it. ISO is separate from the media creation tool. I will do that. Thanks. Lock screen more than once a week. That's where she's getting the new image from whatchamacallit. More than once a week. It was stuck once a week since a big update in July. Ah, okay. You're supposed to get the new image daily. It was stuck on once a week. So now it's happening more often. Costanza the opposite. That's probably with, yeah, because I was saying Media Creation Tool ISO backwards. Nick downloaded the ISO. You can get the ISO, but not via Media Creation Tool for 23H2. Fear of missing out, FOMO. What, for 23H2? I have no fear. I am fearless when it comes to upgrading to 23H2 when it's first available. Nah. Nick Poverman, then I use Rufus to put it on a USB drive. Tim DeBryan, you must be special. Just checked the old laptop, still no offer for 23H2. Dennis, I have a solution for you guys with old CPUs and running Windows 11 22H2. I have a link. Turning on audio. Oh, yeah, I've heard some people having trouble turning on audio with older computers. Yeah. Oh, the high-pitched whine is back. Yeah, see my graphic equalizer there? Let's see, what did Jim call it? Spectrum analyzer. It doesn't go all the way down to 0. Watch this when I stop talking. So that's got the background whine. To fix that, I can go in here to these settings and then come to device settings and then click on the gear icon for default microphone and then change from NVIDIA to default and then close this window. Right now it should be gone according to the spectrum analyzer, or very, very much reduced. Click OK here. So tell me in chat, did that make it go away completely or reduce it substantially? Oystein says, yes, the sound is gone. I think what I miss doing is I need to go up here to File and Save Presentation after making that change. Because every morning I reload the presentation. So it might be that I didn't save those changes yesterday. So I'll need to save those changes after I end the stream. Dennis, also Epic servers for Fortnite are acting up big time. Ken Stout to me, once again, in one of the Doug's fashions, you failed to read the whole message. Sigh. See, he could tell me which message I missed. I didn't read the whole thing. So here's a sigh back at you, Ken, for not communicating enough to let me know what you're trying to communicate. You failed to read the whole message. Are you talking about a chat message or somewhere else? Are you talking about one of Ken's messages? I don't know what you're talking about if you don't tell me. Use your words. I see others getting it too. I did not get it. I don't know which message you're saying that I didn't read the whole thing. Come on, get back here. All right. Maybe I'm looking over here at this other screen. He's still not telling me. The high-pitched whine is the sound of users who immediately jumped on 23H2, only to find it screwed up their systems. I saw these laugh emojis over on the other screen a while ago, and I didn't know until I saw this. I'm sure that's what they were laughing at. Well done, Brian. Always use a USB drive under 16 gigabytes on older boards. That makes sense. That's it. Hashes, checksums. That's what I was struggling for a little while ago. Ran Israel, hash. Not hashtag, hash. Not hashish, hash. Really, Doug? Yeah, I said it. Lawn Dog, okay, Doug, since you kind of stated what I wanted to mention with BIOS updates, particularly with AMD processors, there was problems with not going in the order of historical updates. The best demonstration for this was on Carrie Holzman's show sometime in the past. So I would go in order if I was dealing with an AMD processor. Oystein says hello to Richard. I don't know if it still holds true for processors currently being produced. Certainly it's possible. And the manufacturers don't know what updates they're going to have for BIOSes 3 years after they create a CPU. So each time they do a BIOS update, they're fixing certain problems. They don't know what problems they're going to find. They don't know if they're going to get to a point of BIOS where they need to kind of put in some new database or some new table, some new structure that would cause subsequent updates to not be able to jump from the older version to a newer version. So I don't think that we're in the days of modern CPUs have anything to do with it, because CPU manufacturers don't know, well, motherboard manufacturers, BIOS manufacturers, I should say BIOS manufacturers, they don't know what problems are going to be found that they have to patch. So they can't forecast whether that's ever going to be the case in the future, unless they've already identified something that they know is going to produce that sequence of trouble. Brian Lightfoot, I won't install the 23H2 that update is offering me until a few days and wait for info about possible problems it might cause. Microsoft sometimes has to update its updates. I have routinely not installed them until the update Tuesday forces it, unless I have a reason to want it. I have to try 23H2 in my test PC to see and learn. Well, I'm way over time. Yeah, I'm gonna end it here. I'll get this one. That's interesting, Doug, about your tablet with 2 gigabytes of RAM. Is it a tablet? It's a convertible. It's the kind that I guess you call it a 2-in-1, where the keyboard is attached by magnets, and the CPU, all the motherboard circuitry is built into the monitor portion. So, yeah, it's they don't really call it did they call it a tablet? They had some particular name for it, because there are Surface laptops and there are Surface, do they call them Duos? I don't remember. Dual boot partitions. Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's what refers to when I was doing the MS config stuff. All right, so there's the email address if you want to send a question. Now, I will not be doing any streams tomorrow. Won't be doing Fortnite stream. I won't be doing Windows Daily stream. I won't be doing a Doom stream. I won't be doing a Psychology 101 stream. I won't be doing any streams tomorrow. I won't be doing Ken Stout live stream tomorrow. Press the button, Doug. Get out of here. Goodbye.